Hi guys, how are you? So I hope you are having a wonderful Identity Shield 2025, right? It's interesting to have you all here, all inquisitive about cybersecurity and all. So the guys who are sitting at the back side, I want you all to come in front because when I will show the demonstration, you will not be able to see some small minute details. So if you open your laptop, you can come again. Just come in front, okay? I also want you to have Burp Suite inside your laptop installed. If you don't have that, you can use Wireshark as well. So let's start. Um, Today, when I was calling my friend to just take me to the conference, instead of ringing my phone, instead of hearing the ringing sound on the phone, I hear a random lady calling me and telling me and saying that please don't click on any phishing link. So it will basically hack you, or maybe it will take your financial data from you. So whenever you call someone from your Geo phone, there's a lady always on the phone telling you ki, don't do that, it is cyber aparadh. So you must understand the extent of cyber security. The government of India is currently broadcasting those details on the phone itself. So you, as a software engineer and the student of a code, you must understand that it's important for us to code in a certain way. So the application which we are coding is secured from the basic itself. So when I say the term basic, you must think that what basic thing he is talking about. So whenever there is a communication between a client and a server, one thing that strike our mind is the API, right? So today in Hack Me, if you can, I'm going to demonstrate you the API vulnerabilities that can an attacker use to get inside your application and steal out every data that you have in that application. So as I always say, it's a duty of a software engineer to always safeguard the data that a user is trusting him with, right? So moving on to about me, I am Gaurav and I am a software engineer here at miniOrange. I am an API security enthusiast who like to make the solution related to API security. I've been working in miniOrange for past 2 years, and along with that, I like to play cricket and football. So I am a sports person as well. You can meet me outside if you want to arrange a play. So what will be today's objective? Today's objective will be API, and more APIs, nothing else. We will understand why API matters, what it is, why it is that every communication that is happening have API somewhere in our modern day architecture. We will learn some interesting facts about APIs and API security. We will go and learning into OWASP top 10. I know it's a new word for you all guys. So we will look into it, what top 10 is and what is OWASP. And we will has an hands-on experience for you all guys. So we will use your laptops and hack into an application. It will be a local application that OWASP give you to understand what all vulnerabilities does an hacker reconciles with and give you or hack you in the application, and we will implement 5 Ws and a how strategy. So I hope you guys are ready. So let's ignite those in curious mind and let's begin. So the first thing that we will start with is the very basic. As I told you, basic is important to learn the cybersecurity. If your basic is strong, your cybersecurity will definitely be strong after learning all those frameworks that we talk about in the Identity Shield. So what is an API? API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's a set of rules and protocols that allow two software to communicate between each other. You can understand it as a contract that two software sign so that they strategize how the data will go on from one software and then move on altogether to the different software. You all must have used APIs in your daily basis. Like when you open your CrickBuzz app to check, does Virat Kohli score a century? Arey yaar, India har gayi kya? So when you go on the CrickBuzz app, you refresh it and check the live score. That's all the work of API. API make it so much easy that you can't even realize. When you open a mobile phone and do a chat somewhere, in it also there is some API. So you know API is our lifeline. It's have become the most integral part of today's modern architecture. You can understand API through a simple example or analogy of a chef, order, and a waiter. So whenever you go to any restaurant, your favorite restaurant, you sit down, the waiter come to you and provide you with the menu. And the menu contain all the prices of the dishes that you want to order, right? And let's say you want to order a pizza, it contains the detail of the pizza, what will come. It is a thin base or a cheesy loaded pizza, and it contains the price as well, right? The price of the pizza as well. And when you give the order to the waiter that I want to have this pizza with this toppings, the waiter takes your order to chef and say him that this customer wants this pizza, please make it accordingly. So what is happening is you are not going directly to the chef and asking him, please make this, right? You are telling the waiter what all customization you want, etc., and what all requests you are making. In this scenario, the API is a waiter, right? So the all interface, in this interface, the communication is being set up through waiter. You are taking the order and you are giving the order and he is bringing back the order to you. So in API also, you give a request to a server and the server brings out a response to you. So you must have understand this analogy, right? The waiter is an API, you being a client here, and the chef is server, and maybe vice versa also. And also you must think that what about the details of my product that I provided to the waiter. So this is the payload which we give in the API. Okay. So the order which is coming back is the payload which we give on the API. So as I told you, you can understand the API using the waiter example. So now your basic is clear, right? So you must be wondering, in your software engineering time, you must have made some projects related to APIs, right? You have gone around to make a Corona tracker. That time it was at the boom. Everybody's project have a Corona tracker in it. The weather forecasting, etc., also contains the API. So you must know why do I, as a software engineer, love making APIs? Why? Well, I have been 2 years, I have been coding, and not a single time I have not used the API in any of my project. Every time, every single project have some APIs. So why do I love making them? These are the 5 major points that I can think of why I love making APIs. First is solving real world problems. The practical solution and innovative approach to any problem can be always mitigated or can be always done through an API process. People say APIs are more about payload, but I think the API is more about the logic, right? What we think while building an API, it's more about that. So the design principle and the technical logic that we think while building an API is what make me loving the API development. The user experience and enhanced efficiency. I should not tell you about user experience because I told you the ClickBuzz app, right? You refresh it and you get the data. So the user experience only. You don't even know how it comes to you, but it comes super fast within a click of a button, and it all renders right in front of you. So the user experience is also increased through the API development, and the ubiquity, the widespread approach, and the global reach that API have. Whenever you go to any application or whenever you go to any software engineer and ask him कि भाई काise banaya, every time he will say भाई ये API use करी थी मैंने ये बनाने के लिए. So that's why every API, the API development has a widespread use and a global reach. Moving forward, we have seen why API is important, why we develop API, right? So now let's see why do I particularly love, I've told you why do I particularly love API. Let's understand why API security is so much important in today's modern architecture. Moving forward, 71% of internet traffic comes from API. You know, 71% is a huge chunk. Every second, I've seen an article, every second there is thousands of crores of requests that is going on around the complete India only to fetch out something and to display something. So 71% of the traffic around the complete globes come from API. That's why API security is important. 1/3 of organizations release API updates daily. So every single software architecture or engineer sitting on his home is coding APIs. So that's why API security is important. If I go by the numbers, 30% rise has been seen in API-related vulnerabilities. Over 1.2 billion API attacks incident have been analyzed by the software architectures or engineers and the cybersecurity enthusiasts. The main thing that I think that why API security is important is 50% of top 20 SVEs by Google index pages related to the API vulnerability. So Google also say that API vulnerability is more important. You can see the target and impact that an API vulnerability can have. Just see to it. You can see LinkedIn here with 700 million users that got impacted by a API vulnerability. The Instagram account takeovers can also be happen due to API vulnerability. Bumble, Venmo, Parler, Grinder, every single application that you can think about have some API vulnerability inside it. I can vouch for that. Definitely they have some API vulnerability inside them. So I am continuously saying the modern architecture. To keep it in a simple and precise way for you all guys, right now what is happening is the backend part is developing in some certain tech stack, like for example, let's say Java, and the front-end part is developing in a front-end JavaScript libraries or framework like React.js and AngularJS. So the communication between these two particular entities is happening through APIs. So what we should develop first? We should develop APIs, right? So the Postman has taken a survey, and in the survey, 74% of respondents are API first developers. 66% of rise from 2023. So you must understand that being a software engineer, you should know how to develop an API. Not only develop an API, how to secure your APIs so that you can say to the hackers that hack me if you can, right? So let's understand why API are so vulnerable. These are the 6 things that I can think about to keep it very short in a certain period. So this 6 things which you are seeing on the screen: trustworthy wrong website, trusting the wrong website, large attack surface, no input validation, sharing too much information, no limits on request, and revealing too much error are the 5 major things that I think that why APIs are vulnerable. Let's understand one right now. No input validation. So if you have attended yesterday's session of mine, I have done some penetration testing on a certain input field box where I am injecting only a SQL wildcard entries to basically hack into an application, right? So if you're not validating the input, what we are sending through an API to a server, complete application of yours, you can be hacked in a single minute. You will not even know that it has been hacked. So these are the 6 major breakdowns which I understand that API are vulnerable. Why API are vulnerable? So let's understand what we have done or what the world has done for you guys. They have made an OWASP and it's top 10. So let's understand what is OWASP and its top 10. OWASP is the Open Web Application Project that is an international non-profit organization focused on the web-related vulnerabilities that you can find. And the top 10 is the report it publish online. They say कि भाई ये 10 vulnerabilities हैं, इन पे तुम focus कर लो, तुम्हारी आधी API जो breakdown हो रही है, वो sorted out हो जाएगी. So they publish a top 10 report for API vulnerabilities called these broken object, level authorization, broken authentication. I know the name are a little bit complicated. They should have simplified it for us. So what we will do it, we will not understand it by listening to me or by theoretically, we will attack on an application. And I will try to complete 5 type of attacks here, 5 type of vulnerabilities here because we have short time. So let's hack. Are you ready guys? Give me a thumbs up please. Please do not sleep, right? So, abhi maza aayega, right? So moving forward, what I want to do is bring your laptop on, open a burp suit in it, if you have. If you don't have, you can just follow me on the screen itself. And if you're not able to see the screen, you can come in front and you can see to it. So after taking out the laptops, just go to hack.juice-shop.ip-ddns.com. This is a website which I have basically hosted. So just give me a thumbs up when you are ready, so I can just start. Guys with the laptop, are you ready? Are you able to go through this website? So yeah, let's begin. This was the website. If you open it, this website would come. This is a OWASP juice shop, which is given by OWASP only to understand what are the API vulnerabilities that um, we can secure, or basically while we can keep in mind while making API developments. So this is the e-commerce type of architecture. So when you open your burp suite, you will, when you go to the proxy tab on the top. So I want you guys to come in front because you will not be able to see the small minute details which I will talk about. So in the proxy tab, the first part, you see a HTTP history part. So in the HTTP history, you see all the requests that has been made by me to the OAS juice shop or to my server, and it contains all the required informations or all the APIs that has been used by my application. So when I go to this application, what do you see first? It's an e-commerce website, right? So what we want to do on the e-commerce website, we want to purchase something. So what happen if I try to purchase something and instead of paying to a website, giving them the money, I pulled out the money from them. You know Amazon Pay? Let's say this website has Amazon Pay in it. Instead of paying from my Amazon Pay to this particular vendor, I will try to steal the money from them. Can I do that? Who say that I can do that and who say that I can't? Yeah. And I can do it or I cannot. Please guys. Yeah, I can, yeah, because I'm taking the session, that's why I can. I've already prepared it. So first thing what I want to do is, I want to log in as an admin here. Because being an Indian, I also want to have every privileges that I can get. And so what will I do to get an admin access? So the second vulnerability of OWASP was broken authentication. So I will try to broke their authentication and access as an admin in their website. So how to access as an admin? So I will click on, oh, I am already exist. So I will click on an account, I will click on login, and here's the login pop-up which opened, right? It contains email and password, and we have to log in using that. So what I will do is, I will try to enter some wildcard to understand how this is happening. So do you know about SQL injection, guys? So in SQL injection, we enter some wildcards to comment out the SQL part and also to basically stop what is executing and executing our side of SQL into the server, right? So I will try and enter something, right? For example, Gaurav with with a comma or and ASDFG will be my password and try to log in here. So it gives me an error of object and object. What happens here is when I go down and see any of the post requests that I made to the user login part, so it takes my email and takes my password, and I receive the error. So there's one more OWASP vulnerability. We should not disclose every logs that the admin or that the hacker can use to get access to your application. So we have access the logs here. You can see inside the message there is SQLite underscore error. This means this application use SQLite database, right? And it contains the tech stack of the error as well, which tells you that they are trying to make a SQL call to check the email and password. I have highlighted the same. In it, you can see they are trying to select the user where email is Gaurav and password is something hashed and deleted at is null. So I can use this vulnerability to get inside the application. So what we are understanding right now is OWASP second vulnerability, that is broken authentication. Okay. So what I will do is, I will, since it's easy to show you here, I will try to log in as an admin. How can I do that? So I will try and enter admin here instead, because admin always have a email starting with admin. And I will click on login part. Again, I got an error, so I was not inside. What should I do to get inside? So I will try and go again here, and again the same error. Okay. So what I will do is, I will try to comment out everything behind admin part, right? I will just try to comment all this part. So what will happen, what the SQL query will become? Select asterisk from users where email equals to admin. And when the email is admin, I will get inside the application. So what I will do here is, I will enter or 1 equals to 1 and end it with semicolon. This is a wildcard which we use to basically comment out the SQL that is injecting and login. See, I am able to log in as an admin here. So those who think that I cannot, I can access an admin. So now you must be thinking कि भाई show me कि ये admin है. How can I trust this is admin email? So in the instead of search, I will try to add the parameter or that what to say a UUID to basically access the administrator part and click enter. So the first API vulnerability that we taught about was broken object level authorization, that is BOLA. So this is also kind of a BOLA attack. I'm not saying that it is a BOLA attack. It is a kind of a BOLA attack where I only change the ending part of a particular path and get access to an application, right? So from hashtag, I entered administrator, and I was able to access the admin resources. I can find out the customer feedback, register user, etc., etc., etc. in this admin panel, right? So now you are admin, you are logged in as an admin. So what to do next? What do you want to become? A millionaire, right? So how to become a millionaire? I could write a book on it if I know. But I know the OAS juice shop can make me a billionaire. What I will do is I will add apple pomans to a basket. This apple pomans is added to the basket, and you can see I have 7 items inside my basket, and one is apple pomans. So what I will do is I will go down and I will see an endpoint which allows me to add something in, basically which fetch out every details which I have of the basket resources which I have, and this is a get request, and let's see on the product side. So this is a product which we tried to add into our basket, that is apple pomans with ID 24 and the description. Perfect. So how can I change something so that I can get I can be a millionaire? So let me think. So what I will do is I will try to add something inside this basket again. So I will try to make it +1, and again I am not able to do so. And when I go to basket type, I see the quantity field here. Are you guys able to see it? They are putting under the basket item 9 a quantity of 5. Okay. So what if I can change this quantity to something negative? Can I do that? If I change something to negative, what happens is, if I have to pay someone in negative amount, this means he has to pay to me, right? So let's do this thing. Let's send it to a repeater. You can click on it, press Control R, or you can just right click on it and go to send it to a repeater. And when you go to repeater, and inside you will see the request response cycle. So I will try and send it. And again, it was added. So the quantity instead of 5, let me add -1000 and send it. Wow. I have added a -1000 quantity of apple pomans into my basket. Let me refresh the basket. And you see, I'm able to get -8876.07 pounds or dollars, etc., whatever currency it is, back from the OAS juice shop. So what we have seen right now is a vulnerability called open functional level authorization. Basically, we have hacked into the functionality of this application and tried to manipulate their resources. We have given the quantity as -1000, and we have, when we check out, let's say I will add a new address, and I live in rich city. My name is Amir. My mobile number is something like this. My zip code is something like this. My address is rich city, Amiri, and I live in Amir Gali, and state is again Amiris, let's say, and I click on submit. Now I will just send it to me. I have money now, so I will select the standard delivery and just pay this amount to me. So when you place your order and pay, you see thank you for a purchase. Everything else with apple pomans is also getting purchased. So whenever I will go again to my juice shop, let me take you to the juice shop. When I will go again to my juice shop and I will add something to my basket, it's added to the basket, and when I check out to an address with 1-day delivery, I can pay using my wallet balance. You see, so just imagine, this is a demonstration only. What happens is Amazon or Flipkart has this type of vulnerabilities. They will easily get hacked with just only changing a numeric number from integer, from a positive integer to a negative integer. So the APIs are, that's why so much vulnerable, that only the payload can change the complete functionality of your website. Instead of charging you for money, you have to you will get the money from them, basically. Okay. So we have understood that three basic vulnerabilities: BOLA, broken functional level authorization. We have understood what is broken authentication. We are inside the website as an admin. Now you must be thinking कि admin तो put कर सकता है values negative में. Can a normal user can do that? Yeah, it's your homework. You can just try to log in as any user that you want to, and try to put some values inside it, minus 1,000 or minus 2,000, etc. I am sure that you will become a millionaire here. I was not able to find any possible way to bring that balance to my wallet. If I would have done that, I would not be standing here. I would be in Bahamas enjoying my holidays. So, so we have understood how we can manipulate the payload to get into an application. How we can manipulate the input to get inside an application. We can manage the payload to change the complete functionality of an application. Now, what does you want to do? So whenever I try to read something, it's my basically मेरे अंदर ऐसी चीज़ है कि अगर मैं कोई चीज़ रीड कर रहा होता हूँ ना, मुझे उसको चेंज करने की इच्छा होती है वेबसाइट देखने के बाद में. यहाँ पे एप्पल पोमेंस लिखा हुआ है, एप्पल पोमेंस का एग्जांपल हो गया. सो लेट्स डू बनाना जूस. I'm a gym freak. So monkey love banana the most, but we are not monkeys, right? Why do I care that monkey loves the banana most? Let's say humans love the banana most, or let's say Gaurav love the banana most. So can we change the description? Are you sure? Yeah. So anybody know how to change that description? Nobody. So there is, when you see the APIs of this particular application, you see three type of APIs. Let me show you on the burp suite. Get me to go to proxy. Proxy in HTTP history. When I go here, I see REST and REST APIs, REST slash basically starting from REST, and another one is starting from APIs. Also, when I scroll down, I see something regarding the products. So it's REST slash product slash 6 slash reviews. So what I will do is, since I want to change the description of a product, I will try to manipulate the API that is related to the product. I will send it to the repeater, and जब मैं repeater पे जाऊँगा तो मैं इस पे send करके देखता हूँ क्या मिलता है. When I send it, I get a status success message. So what I will do it, since we have less time, so let me just quickly go around it. We'll enter API, and instead of these all things, we will just try to hit it and send it. So what it does is, it brings you all the product details that this website have. Okay. So we want to change a description of a particular entity inside all of these products. So what we should do? Anybody have an idea about HTTP verbs? Get, put, post, delete? What should I do here instead of get? Why put not? Why not patch? No, I can also use patch for changing something.
I don't have much idea about patch, but I'm sure put will do the work.
Oh, so you have done the OWASP juice shop?
Yeah, to some degree, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we will go around have a put. So you must be thinking कि इसको कैसे पता कि put डालना है? How do you know? So there is an parameter that you can pass here called an options. You must know about course policy, everybody. So in course policy, we certainly define what are the headers and what are the methods that can API access to. So when I go there, you see get, head, put, patch, delete, and post. So these are HTTP methods I can use to get to this particular API. So what I will do is, I will try to again go to a get parameter and send it out. We have less time, I guess. And I will copy one of the data. So what we are going to change is banana. So let's search for banana here, copy the banana ID, complete, object, and just go here and put it out here. Perfect. So right now I'm telling you the broken object, the API vulnerability. I am just forgetting the name. It's broken object property level organization, BOPLA authorization. So I'm giving a put request to it. Okay. So when I send a put request, it give me unexpected path. So what can be an error here? The path is not complete. That's why it's getting expected path. Hmm? Yeah, exactly. So we must point to particular product that we want to make a put request to, right? So what is the product ID here? It's 6. So let me enter the product ID here, 6. And we don't need all of this. We only want to change the description. So I will change the description part. Just a minute. Perfect. I change the description part to monkey love banana. Let's say Gaurav, the hacker, love it the most. Okay? I'm calling myself a hacker, but I am not. I am a penetration tester only. So I will try to put this particular description inside this API. And I send it, a success. But I got a success, but the description is same, monkey love the bananas. Is Gaurav the hacker a monkey? No, no. So we have to change something. So the content which we are sending it, the application should know that the content which we are sending has a type. So we'll enter a content type here. And let's enter application/JSON, okay, and send it out. Oh, so what I have missed here? Quote where? So I was adding a comma at the last. So you see, Gaurav the hacker loved the banana most. Let me refresh it. And when I go to here, you will see the Gaurav the hacker loved the banana most. I have changed the description. So what you guys can think of, we have covered 4 vulnerabilities here. There's one vulnerability remaining, that is unlimited consumption of a resource. Here, the reviews which you are seeing here, you can manipulate the API to send multiple requests to our application and create multiple reviews here. I think I might have an example for you. No, I think I've refreshed the cache. So, so you are able to understand how hackers get inside the application using vulnerable APIs. I hope I was able to explain you. So let's move again to what we can do to prevent those vulnerabilities. 5 Ws and a how of API security. So I've been attending to these conferences for a long time. The main thing which I think is lacking in the conferences are the basic knowledge. You tell me about certificates and all. You tell me about OAuth. You tell me about rate limiting and all. But you don't tell me that what should I start with, right? मुझे अगर एक ऐसा point दे दो तुम जहाँ से मुझे enter करना है API development में, तो मैं automatically सीखते जाऊंगा API security कैसे work करती है. So in this session we are going to understand the 5 Ws and a how approach. Why, who, what, where, when. If you follow these 5 steps, I'm definitely sure you will be able to understand how to secure an API. So the 5 steps would be why secure APIs and why do hacker target APIs. Basically, if you know कि हमें API secure करने की होती है, so you have a context while entering to a development site कि that's why I have to secure an API. Who will use the API? Is it the admin or is it the customer? If both of them are using APIs, you should just divide the APIs between 2 type of versions, or basically role-based access control. And who is allowed to access what is, as I already covered in role-based access control, what should be secured and what method and tools can be used for security. You can search it online, ki, what can I do to secure this particular API vulnerability. And where is API hosted, we should understand ki API kahan pe hosted hai, and we should protect that resources as well. And when should security check occurs, you should know about that as well. Okay. Let's understand the how to secure an API. So encrypt the data which you are sending. Rate limiting an API. Basically, user cannot continuously ping an API to create a resources because it will jam your network. Validate the input. No SQL injection. No other wildcard entry should allow inside an API. Monitor the activity. Always test your resources. Do penetration testing on your application and authenticate the user who is trying to use an API. If you attended the yesterday's session, I told you that authentication is very important part, and you can access the token of any users and access inside it. And if you follow all these 5 steps, you will be able to get inside, you will be able to have a robust API security. So the payloads, and let's go with the payload. Payload is what we take away, right? So let's take a key takeaways. So these are the 5 takeaways. The APIs are the backbone of digital ecosystem. Securing them is to like protect your business. Strong authentication authorization to safeguard sensitive data. We understand that enforcing server-side filtering is very important as we are able to access as an admin resource. And the input validation and rate limiting is also important because we can forge the database, or we can force various requests here and create a, basically if I send thousands of requests to one particular application, it can bring that application down. In miniOrange, we also have a rate limiting because we had an attack earlier. So we try to add rate limiting in every of our server-side pages that we render. Secure CORS policy to block unauthorized cross-origin access and maintain trust. So I hope you guys are able to understand how to hack into an application using API vulnerabilities. Now I demand from you that whenever you code an API, please keep that in mind while coding, because it's your duty to safeguard the data of every individual that is trusting you out. So yeah, guys, that was my time, and I think I exceeded it. You can have the questions outside.